guys, this is exciting. This is terribly exciting.
Who's produce the hardware and software for your electronic devices? Who are the partners?
For batteries themselves?
Yeah.
Let me get you the list of those. We have suppliers around the world, but they're all the same battery suppliers that provide all the consumer electronics also.
Yeah.
Like Mitsubishi's and Toshiba's.
And if about the sync technology, who is produce the software?
Okay, now this is neat about sync. When we started sync, we started with Microsoft, because Microsoft makes fundamental operating systems, as you know, like Apple and others. And so the fundamental mobile platform for the operating system was we did in conjunction with Microsoft. That's why you see Sync powered by Microsoft. So that basic operating system is in the car. Now our strategy is to not embed the electronics, not embed the consumer electronics in the car, because we wanted the consumer electronics to continue to move and develop like it does, which is very, very fast. So we have really adopted an open architecture where we just manage the interface between all the mobile applications and the platform itself. And the application that we focus on is what we call My Ford Touch, which rides on that fundamental operating system, which manages the applications and the interface with all of the mobile devices. And we also announced over the last few days that a feature called App Link, which we can provide all of the application developers the software and the protocol to tell them how to interface with My Ford Touch, because we want to encourage those application development outside of Ford. And the other main partner that we had is Nuance Communications, which is the voice recognition leader in the world, because the point of view that we took was that the most important thing as you interface with all your digital devices is that you keep your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road. Now this sounds like a big breakthrough here, but what we know a lot about people and driving, and what we found is that if you can keep your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road, that your cognitive ability is such that you can manage a lot of information. But you're a better driver if you're focused on the driving experience. It's incredible what a reduction in distraction it makes if you're looking ahead and you're managing the vehicle. So that's why we really encourage voice recognition and voice commands. So, and then really simple consumer electronic 5-position controllers on the wheel that if you want to move the information around. And we've gone from 100 commands, Jason, to 10,000 commands today. What we're talking about today is we're going to provide these voice commands in 19 different languages, 9 different languages in Europe alone. The vehicle will come with 4 different languages based on where you buy your vehicle. And the reason we're so excited about this is that this allows that interface to be very, very simple. And then you bring your smart device, whether it's a smartphone or your entertainment system, you bring that, it gets smarter and smarter and smarter going forward, and then we manage just that really simple interface. So it's not only elegantly simple, but it also makes a tremendous improvement in safety, because your number one job is to drive.
Is there a difference between models produced in Europe or in Russia in equipment, in technology and electronic equipment?
I don't think so from our interface point of view, because that's why we're not trying to charge for it. I mean, what we want, when you walk into a Ford storeroom, we want to provide you with the most capable vehicles. I mean, quality, the fuel efficiency, the safety, the really smart design that makes you even a better driver. But when you buy Ford, you get this fantastic, simple interface, but you're connected to your digital world. And that's why we want to let the electronics industry, wherever it is around the world, keep developing the fundamental capability of the smart devices. And then we just make the interface with that be is so simple and so straightforward and so safe, because then the consumer will get all the capability from the consumer electronics and whoever is leading in that area, but be able to get access to that with that same voice commands inside the vehicle.
I have a question about think and your vision of the car tomorrow.
Yes.
I mean, for me, think could be the first step for a connected car. A connected car as a platform, as an iPhone, see what I mean? With a car, a platform, and some apps.
I would even suggest that Ford might be the mobile application of choice.
Okay, so what does it mean for you tomorrow?
Just teed it up.
So what does it mean for you? I mean, car for in the next year. I mean that for you a car would be a tech platform with apps from third part. You're gonna provide, APIs, SDK, etc. And what's your vision behind that and your link with the customer?
Well, I think that it's exactly the way that.
It's a real geek question, I know.
Yeah, no, it's exactly the way you described it, but it's the point of view that we took, that the car is going to be the all-time mobile application, and we're going to be seamlessly connected to information which is ubiquitous, right? And so as the computing power keeps going, just like from the mainframes to the desktops to the PCs to the tablets to the phones, it's going to get more and more capable, and we want to be able to interface. That's our world. And the fourth point of view is that we just wanted that interface with the driving to be absolutely the simplest and the safest it could be, because we're actually contributing to removing distractions, right? Because you're keeping your eyes on the road, your hands on the wheel, and you're not fumbling with maps or information or all the stuff that we need to manage our lives or our entertainment system. So I think in our case, you're going to see that interface get even simpler, the voice recognition get even better. You're going to be able to reconfigure your car. You're going to be able to do your air conditioning, your heating system more with voice recognition. You can imagine almost like a seamless voice conversation. You can imagine texts coming in, you answering them with your voice, hearing them be said to you. But everything we're going to aim for is that you do that, and your eyes are on the road, and your hands are on the wheel. And then we let that wonderful consumer electronics industry absolutely keep developing, but we don't embed that stuff in the car. We don't try to make money on it. I mean, because that's a separate interface with the consumer.
Talking about safety, a connected car seems to be a whole new world for all kind of intrusions like viruses or Trojans. Have you planned any security firewall or system for that?
Yes, absolutely. And it's the same thing we do in commercial airplanes also, which is the very same strategy. Is the fundamental vehicle systems are separated, firewall away from the communication info entertainment systems, because it's one thing to have an error in the info implementation systems, another one to have an issue with the operating systems of vehicles. So that's absolutely a fundamental strategy going forward. And I'm just very pleased with the quality as we move to more integrated electronics, at the quality of the systems associated with the vehicles. And so that's a very important consideration.
I've read a lot of polemics and considerations about entertaining being a new distraction for you while driving. What do you say about that? I mean, you can keep your hands on the wheel and eyes on the road, but you keep having more distraction coming if you have Twitter saying new tweets, or if you want to keep changing your music or keep doing something different every time. So is it really safer if you can do so much things keeping your eyes on the road, or is it better not to do that?
I think absolutely it's safer. Now, just think of it, everything you just described has been going on ever since we invented the car, right? Everything that you described, having a conversation, thinking, talking, figuring things out, and look what happened when we started adding more and more of our mobile devices, right? whether it was infotainment systems, whether they're the telephone, and think of how that was moving us away from the driving experience, right? Because it was moving our eyes off the road and our hands off the wheel. So with Ford, the fundamental approach is to reduce the distractions by allowing us to do what humans do best, and that is having a conversation. And that's why we're so positive about voice, and why we push so hard with nuanced communications and the rest of the technology developers to get all the different languages, to make it seamless, to make it like a conversation, because it's incredible the cognitive ability that people have. And we've been doing this very safely for a lot of years. But the neat thing is now is moving away from being distracted with your hands or with your eyes. And now you're not distracted, but you're just having a conversation. You call up the artist, right? You call up the restaurant you're going to. You call up the directions, and all the time you're focused on driving. And it's giving you the information back in a communication also. So I think that's why we are here at Cebit. Cebit.
It's like Ebit.
Because this integration, this coming together between consumer electronics and the automobile is one of the most exciting developments to us, because this is going to be a significant improvement in safety.
You've introduced Sync in 2007, and now you're bringing it to Europe in 2012. Which main future trends do you see in the area of in-car connectivity and entertainment in the next 2 or 3 years?
Well, did you guys meet Jason Johnson?
I've seen it.
We're on it. Here, come over here.
Okay.
You're all taking, come on here. We're all taking pictures of you.
Yeah, so
So Jason is one of our lead designers and has been for Sync and My Ford Touch. So it's fun to have him here. Let's ease him into the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, Jason.
Yeah, first of all, it's great to hear the CEO of a car company talk technology. And he didn't reveal, but he is an engineer. He does have an engineering background. But talking about connectivity and where it's going, with My Ford Touch, and we'll demonstrate downstairs, we have Wi-Fi capability. We not only use that in the manufacturing process to customize the language packs and customize the system for each market, but our first priority is to create a Wi-Fi hotspot in the car, so people can, your passengers can surf from the web while they're on the go and stay connected. So you hear us a lot of talking about platforms. We talk about the car platform, the C-car platform. Sync is a technology, hardware and software platform as well. And then so with Wi-Fi, we're able to do things like we've done with Bluetooth, where we add the capability in, and then now the possibilities are endless. So with Bluetooth, the first obvious application is Bluetooth phone, and then Bluetooth streaming audio. Then we were able to add services using that Bluetooth connection on your phone, and then also app link with Bluetooth. When we first launched Sync, we had no idea that we would be able to do app link. Now that we've added Wi-Fi, the first applications in the manufacturing process and the mobile hotspot, so the possibilities are really endless now that Wi-Fi is becoming part of the platform. So the reasons why we come to CES and Cebit is to work with the technology partners, establish those relationships to get those great ideas, if it's developing an application or developing partnerships for what needs to be, what's coming next. So, and then another note about Wi-Fi is that our approach is bringing your devices that you already have into the car. So a built-in embedded solution, if we were to build in a 3G modem into the car with a SIM card, 6 months from now that technology is obsolete. So that's why we're enabling the user to bring in their own 3G or 4G or LTE modem, plug it into one of the 2 USB ports. So as 4G and LTE start to roll out in different markets, based upon where you live and which carrier or which network you feel most comfortable with, the customer can make the decision and bring that into the car. And then so that way we're able to keep pace with the consumer electronics industry as 4G and LTE devices start to proliferate, versus building it in, then it becomes obsolete right away. So flexibility and upgradability are 2 key features that we really focus on, that really drives us in the decisions.
Do you see any?
Your question about electric, 2012
Okay.
for the Ford Focus Electric, and 2013 for the C-Max hybrid, and plug-in hybrid.
And that's European availability.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Just, ladies and gentlemen, sorry to press it. Just probably one more question for Alan, if that's okay, because he's obviously on time pressure. So.
Now, this is my most favorite.
Do you see any other car manufacturers adopting your open approach to giving the customers the ability to bring their own electronic devices? Do you see any other manufacturers?
We do, and what do people say? Imitation, or is it best
Finest form of flattery.
Yeah.
Because as you know, many of the automobile companies were going down a road of being embedded, like Jason was talking about, where maybe they thought that it was a competitive advantage to do their own, to provide it with a vehicle. But we clearly took a completely different point of view, that our competitive advantage would be to manage the interface to help the driver focus on the driving experience, but also give the interface into that consumer electronics on all the devices that we have, and let that develop in the consumer electronics industry space. So I mean, people take different approaches, but I think what Jason said about the fundamental architecture, providing us access to the devices and letting the devices continue to grow with consumer electronics, I think that absolutely is in Ford's case, we believe that is the future.